first thing I'm going to just bring up, it's insane that Superman is already available VOD.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, James Gunn's like, well, I wanted people to be able to see it. It's like,
You're killing theaters.
Yeah.
You're killing theaters.
You're not just killing theaters. Like, the thing is, movies make blockbusters require a theatrical release. Theatrical releases is where movies make their money.
Yeah.
They make the money that they make streaming is totally negligible compared to the money that they make.
So even if they make, like, you can make arguments of how much something makes streaming, and they break it down by numbers to some extent. But the bottom line is, like, how many of those people that watch Stranger Things just already had Netflix? They ain't making any money on the people that already had Netflix.
Right.
And it's the biggest streaming platform in the world. So how many people are running in and getting it just for, obviously Stranger Things makes money in other ways. But this has been, and we've got somebody in the chat here. So welcome. Yeah. Okay. So Warner Brothers has been really, really bad with this. Warner Brothers started doing this during COVID. Everybody started doing it to some extent, but they were probably the biggest offender. They were turning things to streaming so fast. And frankly, so what's killing theaters? Yeah, you can make an argument that cost is killing theaters, but theaters are a separate entity from the studio. I think sometimes people forget that. These theaters are going, well, we have to make money somehow. So if only half the number of people that were previously buying tickets buy tickets, then we have to increase the price of our Cokes and our popcorn to just outlandish, more expensive than Disney World prices. It's insane.
Yeah, it really is.
And this change occurred directly in relation to this drop. I mean, we've experienced roughly a 50% drop. It's not just that, everybody's way too quick to say, oh, well, nobody went and saw any of these comic book movies this summer, so clearly people don't like comic book movies anymore. No, nobody's going and seeing anything.
Right.
With rare exception, nobody's going to the movie. Like 50% drop in theater attendance. That's not solely
Yeah. There's a lot of factors in that. So I'd be curious to know, like, comparatively what the numbers were for something like Wicked, which was really, really heavily marketed, and something like Superman. I mean, because honestly, when we went to go see Wicked, I mean,
Ro, what's wrong with my mics tonight?
Uh-oh.
Am I on the wrong mic, perhaps? No, thank you, Ro.
Not annoying, helpful.
All right, how is that?
You gotta love having other techie people in your chat being like,
well, yeah. Well, hopefully that's better. I was no change.
You're not the right source. Current audio levels.
It changed the source. It says it did, but it did not. Let's see. Well, we're going to fix this before we go any further, even if I have to start the stream over, because let's see. Oh, it switched back. There.
Hello.
That
it's coming through the board now.
That is, well, it was coming through the board the whole time. So let me do this. Hello, 1, 2.
Yes, there we go. Thank you, bro.
It is not supposed to switch to that, but we were coming through the Logitech camera.
Oh, that's fun. I bet it was bad.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really bad audio.
That probably sounded like when we first started out.
Yeah.
And normally I catch that, but as previously mentioned,
My brain's kind of scrambled, so we're going to see how this show goes tonight.
Keep it interesting. Keep it interesting. Let's see. So, and this is true. Um, comic book movies are not as novel as they were.
No,
A few years ago.
Right, but I mean, at what point did they cease to be novel? Because we've been inundated with them for over 20 years now.
Yeah, lots and lots.
They've been but I think, I'm going to be honest with you, I think people have forgotten how to go to the theater. I think people scream, I want something original, I want something new. And even if it's in one of your franchises, The Thunderbolts is a magnificent movie. You've seen it a couple of times now. What do you? I mean, you still agree? Is it? I mean, where do you rank Thunderbolts this year, comic book movie wise?
Comic book movie wise.
Now I know you really loved Fantastic Four and Superman, and I know that the lightheartedness of those is probably.
But I also really appreciated the. I really appreciated how well they navigated. How well they navigate. I mean, I feel like the whole metaphor for depression could have been just awful, just so cringe.
Well, usually it winds up being something really. It can be really corny, or it can be really wrong.
Yeah. So I was surprised. Yeah, it was a great one.
It's got its lighthearted moments, but it's not doesn't do. It's not heavy-handed comedy that Marvel can sometimes do.
Yeah. It also could have just been.
It could have just been bad. And the thing is,
it could have been very preachy, which is like for me, that's like the mortal sin of movies, is to be preachy. I don't like to be, and probably it's a result of having grown up in churches and then being like, oh, shoving the really crappy entertainment down your throat.
Yeah.
And because you have to watch it because it's our thing, and so now I just have like a super aversion to being preached at by movies. So.
I somewhat agree with this. But I don't strictly
happened right before COVID.
Well, that didn't help. But I mean, there were people before, like when Endgame came out, that just declared themselves, that's it, that's peak, I'm done, that's it, I'm out.
Well, and it kind of flows right into what Rose says, is that, and that's the point where a lot of comic book movie fans kind of checked out on comic book.
The thing is, they're watching them. They're just not going to the theater to watch them.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. It's just a very, and as somebody who works in movies, it's one of those things that we all kind of keep watching. There's lots of discussion. You'll see it on all of the, the Facebook groups and things, people talking about trying to figure out like what's going on. And honestly, the consensus just seems to be that a lot of things are going on. And, I guess it's just going to take a little bit of time to kind of normalize and see how things pan out. But man, definitely the likes of Superman going to theater. Literally, you could watch it on demand when you could still see it in theaters.
Hey, Travis, things going good. Welcome to the chat. Let us know what you think. We're talking about the fact that people aren't going to theaters.
Now, I think this is an excellent point. I think part of the problem after Endgame was they came in with, it's a prequel. And it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't take the story anywhere.
They finally they wanted to give Johansson her movie, and
well, why did they wait to do it till after they killed her character off?
And then gave her a bad movie. You gave one of your best characters throughout almost the entirety of the MCU at that point, one of your worst movies to date.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, I was happy to see that Yelena is very much the main character of Thunderbolts. And I feel like this is not that this is the movie I wanted, but this is the quality of movie that Scarlett Johansson should have gotten for her, MCU lead moment. I don't know. But yes, phase 5 we're talking about, right?
I don't know.
Is that so? Yeah, phase 5. That's the post end game phase. Phase 6 is very much superior, but we had the pretentiousness of the Eternals. Just
like it didn't matter, and then we had the Black Widow
there are
movie.
some good movies in there.
Yeah, no, but it took them too long to like move the story forward. Just a little bit.
We also began to have prior to Endgame, the only actor that had been particularly problematic with not knowing when to shut up had been Brie Larson. He just had the one.
Yeah.
And then post Endgame,
it was
nobody wants to shut up now. You've got
really opinionated about everything during COVID. We were all too bored. We didn't have nearly enough to do. Bro enjoyed the Eternals. What?
I tried real hard to enjoy the Eternals. I loved the concept.
Yeah.
I really, there's a lot I like. There are things I like about the Eternals, but it's just, there's something very pretentious about that entire movie.
Yeah.
And then the running, the director running her mouth after was
yeah, she's gonna watch it after this in honor of you too. That's funny.
Eternals is not.
It's not the worst thing, but it just
it's not the worst.
Endgame. It was a bad place to follow Endgame.
Yeah.
It's.
We also started dabbling in really mediocre television.
Yes, and that's one of the things that Ro mentioned is that there was just like almost like an embrace. It's this idea that Star Wars got. If you slap Star Wars on it, people are gonna love it because it says Star Wars. Well, guess what? If you make crappy stuff and slap Marvel on it, or even just mediocre stuff and slap Marvel on it, it doesn't print money anymore.
Yeah.
Marvel printed money because they were making good movies.
Mm-hmm.
When they quit making good movies, all of a sudden people are not that interested.
Right. And Travis said, I didn't hate Eternals. I feel like they could replace the Beyonders from the Secret War story, Doom taking their powers. Yeah, absolutely. We have an audio episode dropping tomorrow morning. It's supposed to come out this morning, but as previously mentioned at the top of the show, I worked until 5:00 this morning. So tonight, after we're done with this, I'm going to try to finish getting that edited up and dropped bright and early Tuesday morning, where we did quite a bit of speculation, or really we listened to David, our resident comic book expert, delve deeply into some ideas about where he thinks we're going with Doom. And
he's got some thoughts. He's always funny because he's got like all this deep dive knowledge. So he has like, it's probably going to do this, but I really think they ought to do this weird thing. And it's always something really off the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, our very, very long discussion of
Bro, I agree. Like, so I didn't take the director's comments into account at all in judging the Eternals. It was really stuff she said later when she tried, the nonsense that she rattled off justifying the sex scene.
And a lot of times I get tired of the conversations whenever things do poorly and they're like, well, you didn't come see my movie because you're a bad person.
Yeah.
So,
but no, like, here's the thing. I'm a relatively conservative libertarian person from Mississippi. I'm under no illusion that anybody in any movie that I ever watch agrees with me.
On anything.
Unless it's like Adam Baldwin, maybe Chris Pratt. Like, these guys, people in movies and people that make movies don't look at the world the way I do.
No.
That's fine. I don't care. I've lived my whole life that way.
Yeah. I mean, I work in movies and a lot of people think differently than I do.
Yeah.
But
so I'm really never
for
going.
A lot of people.
It is becoming increasingly so as we become more polarized.
Rather or not it should be. I generally am like, okay, whatever. I don't really care what the actor has to say about things. But those sorts of conversations are increasingly affecting how people view movies. And there are so many calls for things to be, for, I don't know, it's just something else for people to fight about.
Here's
we have
the
so
thing.
many calls to you know, nobody go see this movie because we're mad about what that person said or this person said or what this, you know.
Yeah.
It's all because there's so much of that stuff. Yes, people do indeed need more Zen moments.
Oh, 100%.
I agree. You know,
so I'm not
judging
just
the outrage. It's the outrage churning.
Oh,
that happens in the world.
Yeah, the outrage farming is, you know,
Maybe
here's the
there's
thing.
some little
The little monkeys.
little monkeys.
Yeah, so
that was great.
Here's the thing. I have always maintained that, well, I would always go to my very like casual movie fans, well, you know, friends, people I know personally, have known for a while, to kind of gauge things outside of this sphere where I'm immersed in it a lot.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite part of that movie, Ro. I actually like Superman, but the monkeys were my least favorite part of the movie, mostly because I thought the joke was funny, but I'm like, why are there monkeys using computers? Like, I still don't like unsure about that whole thing. Like, why did the monkeys know how to use the computer?
Because it's funnier than computers on computers. It's funnier than bots. There you go, bro. Andrew agrees with you about the monkeys. I got a kick out of them.
Look, monkeys are a problem. They were a problem in Indiana Jones, and they were a problem in Superman.
It's true.
This is damn monkeys.
No more monkeys. Hashtag no more monkeys.
Unless it's Planet of the Apes, I don't want any more monkeys.
Hashtag super shit. Yep,
anyway, what was I saying?
Let's see. I'm sorry, we kind of talked in a circle. Let's
You can't do that to me tonight.
Zen moments. We were talking about how.
So outrage farming.
Yes.
So
there we go. It's me.
I always came around to a lot of, would go around to people that I know and talk to them about movies and just kind of try to gauge, like, how is somebody who's not seeing all of the crazy things on YouTube or Twitter taking this stuff in? I love talking to my dad. I love talking to some of my friends. I love, my dad's big, is a 501st guy. And so he likes to, I can kind of get from him how all of his 501st people are gauging things.
Yeah.
And in the last, and I always said the big outrage bait YouTubers have very little effect in the like general casual movie going. It's changed. All of the casual people I talk to are like, oh yeah, I love this guy or this guy. And I'm like, or I'll say, what'd you think about this movie? And they'll say, well, this YouTuber said, and I'm like, I don't want to know what that YouTuber said. I come to you because I wanted to know what you thought about it. I already know what they think about it. I know what they thought about it 6 months before the movie came out.
Yeah. And you're right, though. It's become an increasing, you'll hear people say things and you're like, I've heard this talking point before. Yeah, I skipped it on YouTube. Skip. Because I get tired of all the angry people.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot. So I see this. So audience attention span is a major thing. This is from Travis Mitchell. Audience attention span is a major thing. Suicide Squad 2 came out 5 years after the original. So the teenagers who saw that first were adults by the time the sequel released, partially due to strikes. We're getting 4 to 6 year gaps between sequels instead of 2 to 3.
Yeah, y'all, that's like, it's too much. Why are we taking 2 years between a dadgum Percy Jackson series? You can't do that. You got to do one every year, or your leads are going to be 30 by the time you get done.
I think, if anything, that stuff's just proof that this streaming model doesn't work. I just don't really like, I don't know. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and 90s, but like, do my TV shows really have to look like movies? and that, I mean, I appreciate quality.
Yeah.
I appreciate good, good DP work and lighting work, but like, do I need movie quality CGI in my TV shows? Not really. I mean, and you can do such good CGI on a budget now. I mean, the bottom line is CGI has been in a downward slide for 10 years.
Yeah.
And whether that's because the demand that's being placed on the people doing the work, or whether that's that the quality of work has declined, or too many good artists have left the industry because of the constant, because they're overworked, and because when the job's over, they lose their job and they don't know when the next one's coming. You don't know what that's like, do you?
No, geez, that must really suck. So here's the strange thing, though. So the strikes happened, and there was this big gap in entertainment. But instead of sort of trying to course correct after things came back, they were like, "Oh man, things are going to hit the ground running once the strikes are over."
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. The strikes were over and there was still no work. Now, a lot of it is because things are filming overseas.
Well,
there's a lot. They're just not making things at the rate that they were.
Well, they're not. I mean, some of the studios aren't making anything. They
just have decided this gap is just an acceptable thing, and it's like,
well, it's not just that the gap's an acceptable thing. Like, I think that the studios are having a bit of an identity crisis right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're losing money. They're losing money on everything they do. I mean, at the bottom line is all 3 Marvel projects this year probably lost money. Which is absolutely wild. Fantastic Four, I thought, was a tremendous film. And then Thunderbolts is one of my favorite Marvel movies in a long time.
Yeah.
Like Thunderbolts is like pre-Endgame good.
Oh yeah, Thunderbolts is great. But there's been a lot of mediocre.
Yeah, see, this is the other thing that's going to happen. There is a shortage of crews, but the shortage of crews is because of the number of people that haven't been able to maintain regular work, and they've gone to work retail or whatever they can get.
Yeah, and it's really noticeable in places like LA. People have been working. I know people.
Well, crews can't afford to live in LA anymore.
I mean, I know people who've been working in movies for 25 years who suddenly have no work. Their houses are getting foreclosed on.
Yeah.
And so they're going into other industries. And so that's kind of what's happening to the crew. It's a very weird thing. Yeah, but
so Ubaldo and Nicole, thank y'all for joining us in the chat. I see y'all over there. Got a good crew in the chat. So what's really bad is during this like roundabout that we've been going on about this, I thought of the other topic, the one that I wanted to talk about tonight.
Write it down.
And guess what?
You still don't remember what it was.
I forgot it again.
Oh, it's okay. Well.
It's really not.
Andrew's struggling.
Andrew needs a break. And I don't know if we got Dragon Con next week, and I don't know if that actually counts as a break.
I mean, it's kind of like going to Disney World. It's like, not that much of a break.
It's crazy. It's more walking than Disney World.
Really? Disney World's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of walking, but like, I guarantee we spend more time sitting in lines at Dragon Con.
Although we only have 3 children when we go to Disney World. We have 6 of them when we go to Dragon Con.
Right. Let's see.
At least we won't be working.
See what Travis had to say here. Travis says the MCU system used to be use a guaranteed draw like Captain America Civil War to introduce characters like Spider-Man and Black Panther. Then they were both in solo movies within 2 years. Yeah. So as it's gotten bigger, the problem was they looked and they went, we're turning out 4 movies a year. Mm-hmm. If we keep expanding the character, if we keep expanding the roster, we're going to turn out 6, 7, 8 movies a year. We can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's not reasonable. It would be that would be terrible.
Yeah. And
But it's also like at that point, you've got so many characters that sort of demand their own film or a sequel to their film.
Mm-hmm.
How do you squeeze them in? And so I think that the only way they can really do this
Then we
is
make an Echo show because everybody was.
well, that was the
clamoring for
idea.
that.
We can do things on TV and we
Right.
can introduce characters, but instead of using that TV space for characters that people like Shang-Chi that people would like to check in on, we do Echo. And look, I don't have a big problem with that show.
No.
But it didn't need to be made. Like we
Yeah.
didn't need that. That was a waste of finances and streaming time
Mhm.
when you could have done it about a character that mattered. And also we're doing Echo. Like seriously, we're doing Echo. We still haven't like even like name dropped Nova. Like, are we just not doing Nova? Like, are we? There's so many characters. It's like we're picking these
Yeah.
little small bit characters and we're
Yeah.
ignoring some big ones that frankly need to be brought in at this point.
Yeah. And this is an interesting point. Introducing major characters in shows that people didn't watch. And that I think that oops.
Who like what would you consider a major character that we've introduced in a TV series?
I mean, we introduced now I'm going to draw a blank.
Well, I'm asking the chat too, like because just off the top of my head, we have Kingpin, obviously, who was already introduced in a show before we.
I mean, honestly, the one that I was thinking was
it's I can't think of one bigger than Photon.
Yeah. Well, and that was
then she's Photon's not
a lot
that.
of people did see that one. I think a lot of people saw WandaVision.
That was because it was the first one. I think everybody watched WandaVision.
Yeah. So the one that came to mind for me was Daredevil. But I don't know, maybe Daredevil will only ever be maybe he'll only ever be a TV show.
Who?
Daredevil.
So they've announced one more season. I really think so. Hear me out. I really think Daredevil is going to be in the Spider-Man movie.
I think, yeah,
we're introducing a lot of. We're going to have Hulk, Spider-Man, and Punisher, and it's going to be Rage Hulk. We already know that it's Rage Hulk. Whatever it is that has undone whatever Bruce did to make himself Professor Hulk. He's going to be the Rage Hulk again. The argument is there's some question to whether the Rage Hulk will remember Peter or not, which is an interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. Okay, there we go. There's your.
Yeah.
Honestly, I kind of forgot that John Walker was introduced in a TV show. So here's my problem. I watch all of these shows.
Yeah, those are good. I mean, yeah, obviously I love the Miss Marvel show, so I don't know why I didn't think of that one. Photon was the first one that came to mind. And yeah, I guess we introduced John Walker, who for a long time I didn't really think about as an important character. But now he's part of one of my favorite MCU films. So I guess that's different. And I think they made me like the character.
Yeah. So, but here's kind of the direction that my mind went with that is if it becomes an issue if you have to watch all the things for any of the things to make sense, it starts to be too much. Like if you have to watch all the TV shows, it was like whenever they had the Mando arc in the Boba Fett show, right? And so if you didn't watch the Boba Fett show, you missed out on a big chunk of the Mandalorian arc.
But also, if you had for some reason not seen Mando season 1 and 2, you'd be like, "What the hell is that?"
Right. So I think that there's a danger in like the interconnected thing is
that was a goofy idea.
Yeah. But the interconnected thing, like I appreciate things being interconnected, but at the point where you have to consume everything for your movies to make sense, and you have to have seen 30 movies for this one to make sense.
Yeah.
You know, for a long time in Marvel, there were some of those movies and there were some that kind of did their own thing. that you could sort of watch without having to understand all of the stuff. And I think that maybe there's a risk of losing fans just because they're not interested in keeping track of everything, and there's nothing they can really consume without having seen 20 years worth of movies.
Yeah. But I mean, that's honestly the risk for anything that gets as big. I mean, obviously there's no franchise that has done what Marvel's done.
Right.
Up through Endgame, it's so if you just stopped at Endgame, it's the most, by far, the most successful film franchise of all time. And I don't even know if you can ever beat it. The only thing that I could ever see, the only franchise that I could ever see competing with it as far as like current franchises is Star Wars. And clearly Lucasfilm doesn't have a formula to make that work right now.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm saying that, and we're going to talk in a minute about the fact that Lucasfilm had a killer year on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's true. It was a good year. It was a good
now,
Star
if
Wars
they don't have a
TV
win
show.
in the theater, then who cares? It's all,
Right. And I do think that they're hunting for the next character that they can kind of like, that's just going to blow up.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think
it's Nova. I'm just telling you, it's Nova.
Yeah.
But there's no talk of doing it. So
yeah. That's really true. Seeing Darth Maul in Solo was going to confuse a lot of people. This is another one of those examples of like,
well, people were already struggling with the timeline, and then Darth Maul showed up, and people went, "What?"
Yeah. I mean,
but that's the problem with casual Star Wars fans, is they struggle heavily. They have struggled really, really heavily with the timeline.
Yeah,
and that's partially the fault of Lucasfilm for the jumping.
All the fault of Lucasfilm.
Now I will say that they've really invested heavily in this, like 5 years after Return of the Jedi, era. So I do applaud them for doing that.
Okay, I would watch this. An intro by Deadpool where he acknowledges the things people didn't watch and mansplains every new character. Yes. Or
Luis.
Or Luis, yeah.
Yeah. I would take Luis given the rundown too, although it's probably going to be a lot harder to figure out what he's talking about than Deadpool doing it.
Yeah. I know, right?
I'm glad I quit drinking that before I read that.
Alas. I know the casual Star Wars fans like watching them sort of be like, "Ooh, I'll be so confused." I was like, "It's really easy to this and this," and they're like, "But why do we have that dark-haired girl and this dark-haired girl and why?" It was something. But Road thinks that Road doesn't mind the homework, but I think
neither do I.
I don't mind it either, but I think whenever there's too much homework, then all of a sudden people can't. Then you start to lose people.
Yeah, but I don't see. Here's the thing: I'm gonna argue with you. It didn't become too much homework until they decided to do shows.
Yes, yeah, and this is Cobra Kai. Man, that is a really remarkably like that. It's like a textbook in how to make a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
You make it for the demographic, that were your original fans, but do a good enough job, bring in younger people to attract new fans. And yeah, it was golden. By the way, if anyone was wondering, Ralph Macchio is every bit as nice as advertised. I worked with him for a couple of days last week, and he was so nice. Our costume department was not super doing all the things that he wanted in life, but he was super nice. Just as an aside. Yes, Cobra Kai is a life lesson to studios. And if more people would learn the lesson.
Yeah, the only problem with Cobra Kai was they were, again, a little slow with seasons.
Yes. Yeah. They took 7 years to make.
The studios have to figure this out.
They really do.
Like, here's the thing. I saw somebody mentioned it earlier. Might have been Spencer. Somebody mentioned the turn time between episodes of Stranger Things. I don't even care anymore.
No.
I don't
No, they were
care.
talking about
And
the
now
turn
that
time
it's
between.
and now no some but well we were talking about, and I saw somebody in the chat
Okay,
mention
yeah.
Stranger Things. We just didn't address it at the time
Okay, I
because
didn't see it. I missed it.
I literally don't care anymore.
No.
And not only do I not care, now I'm looking at it and they're like, oh yes, every episode is a full length movie. And I'm like, now I really don't care, because it's going to take me forever to find time to watch, however many movies it is to finish Stranger Things. Also, it really kind of makes me nervous about the quality, because did you really have enough story? Did you have enough quality story to justify it? Or did you just do it because you had the budget?
The thing is, they told the story. They told the story they wanted to tell. They finished telling the story they wanted to tell, and then it just made so much money.
Yeah.
And a lot of times whenever they come back for those cash grabs, after something has been tied up, it's not always a good thing. It's usually not a good thing. It is usually at the expense of the story.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in that final season.
I didn't watch the last season. That first episode was just, I couldn't do it. It was too violent. And I'm usually not a too violent person, but it was, maybe I just wasn't in the mood that day. But again, it took so long to get to that last season. I was like, don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore.
So, hey there, sci-fi fans. We hope you enjoyed this clip from a previous live stream of the Science Fictionary podcast. We hope you'll go check out other episodes. We hope you'll hit that like and that subscribe button. And please go check out all of our friends over at the Red 5 Network. And as always, may the Force be with you.